Okay, in today's demonstration, we're going to be talking about how to go about sketching your plot plan. And what you need to kind of take away from all of this is that the plot plan is an activity in which you're going to be sketching your own property. All right, imagine if you had a drone and you sent the drone high into the air and you had it look down at your house on where you live. Okay, what does the yard look like? What would the trees look like from above? If we were, in space, looking at a satellite view of your home, again, what would it look like? That's what the drawing exercise is going to be. You see, in the town of Gates or Chili, they have on record a site map, a plot plan, if you will, of what your property looks like as a drawing. And that's what today's exercise is going to be. I'm going to show you how to go about sketching and drawing up what your plot plan should be, including any specific lines. And I'm going to take you through it step by step. All right? What you're going to probably want to do first is do some research. I recommend there's a couple websites out there, like Google Maps or maybe even Zillow.com. Okay, Zillow.com is an excellent tool for looking at your property to see how much it's worth, to see if it's for sale, and they also do a very good job of showing your boundary and property lines. Again, it's called Zillow.com. Once you've gone and looked at Google Maps or Zillow or any picture of what your property looks like, what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to take a guess as to, what does it look like? All right, what does it look like? So I've already gone ahead and I looked at a property, and for this demonstration. So basically, the property itself looks like this. And so notice how I'm just kind of sketching. There's the property. All right. It's just kind of plain. There's nothing really exciting about it. Some people's properties might be square or rectangular, and that's okay. This property just happens to be, kind of a piece of a pie, if you will, perhaps part of a cul-de-sac. When you go about doing your sketch, you want to make sure that you kind of know where north is. All right. Sometimes north might be facing this way. All right. Again, use Google Maps or Zillow to help you identify where your azimuth is, and that just tells you where north is. All right. So according to this, my house isn't perfectly north and south. It's going to be on an angle. All right. So once you kind of have sketched your boundary, you go ahead and you sketch your dwelling. So your dwelling will look something like this. There it is. So there's the dwelling. Now the dwelling, you will not be drawing any floor plans. So we can go ahead and just kind of sketch in these hatched lines here. See these diagonal lines? And notice how I'm just kind of sketching them. All right, see that? So we just kind of sketched that in. All right, that's the dwelling. That would be the house, whether it's a one-story house, two-story house, it doesn't matter. All right, next thing we're going to want to do is draw in our driveway. So there's our driveway. And then you're going to want to include the mailbox. Now the symbol for the mailbox is a box with an X. So there's the mailbox. All right, and you can see up close. That's what a mailbox looks like. All right, and again, the plot plan symbols is located in the plot plan activity under plot plan symbols reference. So you can just copy exactly what you see. All right. Now I know that there are some trees on this property. All right, and to draw a tree, it looks just like this. All right, and then there's one right here. And you can overlap your trees also. There's one tree. There's another one. And there's one right there. Great. In the backyard, I have a deck. There's the deck. Okay. I have some bushes on the front of my house. I have a walkway that goes to the garage, like that. All right. Then you're going to want to start to label. You know, driveway, the deck, you know, you have your house. You're going to want to make sure that you label it too. So somewhere on your sketch, you're going to want to make sure that you label. So, you know, we'll call it 1177, and we'll just say Main Street. All right, so you're going to write the address to your property here. All right, and so again, we're just doing our sketch. All right, you can also figure out where the electric service is coming in. All right, and the electric service looks something like this. You know, we'll say it looks like that. There's the electrical service going to the house, so we have electricity. All right, natural gas comes in here, and it looks like this. That goes to that side of my house. All right, and there's a water line. All right, that goes to it right there. And you can label them too. All right, we can say E for electricity. We can say G for gas, natural gas. W for water. So that we're just trying to get some information on here. Okay? If you know where your sewer line is, you can also draw that too. You know, S for sewer or whatever. Okay? And so now we've gone ahead and we've pretty much finished our sketch. So now what we need to do is we need to transfer this to the big paper. Alright, so now you would have received your big paper from your teacher, okay? And then this is what we're going to be drawing, the actual full size, the neat, the nice drawing. That's what we're going to do here. Okay? So what we're going to want to do is, I would start by sketching again, but this time you want to draw very lightly. And again, you want to make sure that you are filling in. All right. There. And I've gone ahead and I've done my sketch. And I've made sure that the lines are very light so that you can go in and you can erase it. All right. Then what we're going to want to do now, all right, is we want to actually put in the property line. Now the property line, when you draw it, has a very specific shape to it. So the property line looks like this. Can you see that? So what you're going to want to do now is you want to now start to outline your property using the correct line method. And please refer to the plot plan symbols in your symbols reference folder in Schoology so that you can know exactly what these look like. There. That's what it should look like. Okay? And now it's time to continue on. What you're going to want to do next is you're going to want to sketch in the easement. All right? You want to make sure that you include the easement. And the easement is here, which is basically what the town kind of owns on your property. and it's typically like dashed lines. It looks kind of like that. That would be your easement. Okay, and at this point we're going to now switch to sketching our dwelling, and you're probably going to want to use a straight edge, because if you notice, I'm spending a lot more time making this look really neat. Alright, and so we want to make sure that we have our dwelling on here the best that we can. So the dwelling looks like this. And we're just taking our time, just making it look correct. Alright, and so now that we pretty much have the dwelling exactly where we want it, we want to make sure that our driveway is accurate. Like that. And then we would go through and we would draw our diagonal lines and draw this in exactly the way it's supposed to look. Okay, that looks a lot better. See how you have the hatched lines? That's our dwelling. That's all we need to know. And now at this point, we can now start kind of drawing in where we want our azimuth to go. So again, we're using our nice straight edge. I like to get a little fancy with my azimuth, so I just do something like that. There it is. There's north. Okay. We draw in our address. Alright, and notice how I'm using capital letters. It's just a more technical term for the drawing. Okay, now at this point we want to start adding in more features like the trees, so you can go ahead and do that. And again, what do the trees look like? You know, that's what they look like. So you want to start to include your trees and any other foliage, bushes, and that sort of thing. How's that? So we have our trees where they belong. We have our bushes. I even included the walkway, and it's coming along very nicely. Okay, as you can see, that's what we're looking for, and we're taking the time. Now I'm using a marker to do this so that it really comes out very nice. You can choose to use a marker, or you can choose to use like a black colored pencil, anything to push down hard to make it look amazing. Don't forget to include any other features like the deck, mailbox, so let's include those. There we go. So the deck is in. I got my mailbox. Now it's just time for us to just put a few more things on there and we're done. So at this point, go ahead and label. So that would be the deck, driveway, you know, so you're starting to label some things. And go ahead and put in, you know, how we did the electrical lines, the sewer lines, gas lines, water. So hopefully you can figure out those items. Okay, so check it out. I've added in my gas lines, my water lines, electrical lines. I even put in a sewer line right there. We've labeled everything. We have our mailbox, we have the address, we have the azimuth. Finally, we just need to kind of put everything in a nice border, and then we can wrap this up. Finally, I just did an outside border around the whole document to make it look a little bit more official. And then over here, this is where you would want to write your name. So you would write your name. You know, and then you would write, you know, like the drawing. So what kind of drawing is this? All right. And then, you know, you would write down your class and the period. And then you would submit this for a grade. Any remote learners would take a picture of this and then send it to me. I hope this was able to help you. Contact me if you have any problems whatsoever doing this. All right? Take care.